Here I have an article so immensely stupid that it doesn't just make Pat Robertson look smart, it makes him look like fucking Albert Einstein. So this article was written by Reverend Mark Creech of the Christian Action League. I believe they're affiliated with the American Family Association, which is Brian Fisher's group. He's part of that. Well, he heard that Pat Robertson, the segment that he did where he said, all right, can we stop with the silliness? The world is not 6,000 years old. Yes, my name is Pat Robertson. Yes, I'm a televangelist. Yes, I believe in the Bible. I believe in miracles. I believe in Jesus. I believe in all this goofy garbage. But I do draw the line at the world being 6,000 years old. And I know that's not the case because we have fucking fossils from 7,000 years ago, from 65 million years ago with the dinosaurs. There's radiocarbon dating. There's other ways that we learn these things. We know how it works. Over 10 forms of scientific dating methods. You could figure out the decay of certain types of matter. And we've learned that the world is 4.54 billion years old. The universe is 13.9 billion years old. So stop with the silliness. That's, Pat Robertson said that. I'm obviously presenting it in a stronger way than he did. But he did say, stop with the young Earth creationism stuff. It's nonsense. He said it's nonsense. His words. So here's some of this guy's op-ed responding to Pat Robertson, and he's not happy with him. He says, quote, modern science asserts that the geological ages are predicated on the fossil record, and these fossils speak to us of suffering and death millions of years before Adam and Eve, before the creation of man. That's a direct contradiction of the Bible's teaching that pain, anguish, travail, death, and the dysfunctions of nature are a direct result of divine judgment because of man's sin. So that's the first thing he's talking about. Okay, realize how insane that is. He's saying anything bad that ever happens to anybody, it's because of sin. Okay? Any scientific explanation like, hey, the germ theory of disease, or there are viruses, and this is how they function and how they act, and here's the difference between the things. No, he's saying that's all garbage. Reason anything bad ever happens, it's all because of sin. God is judging you. Okay, you're already gone. You're already lost to any rational person, which is why it gets even more fun. He continues. Scott Hughes, in his book, The Collapse of Evolution, lists 24 ways the Bible's account of creation and evolutionary theory contradict each other. Just 12 ways, I can list probably hundreds of ways in which evolution and the Bible contradict each other. He says, furthermore, Hughes notes the general principles of evolution are starkly different than biblical Christianity. He writes, quote, the fruit of evolution has been all sorts of anti-Christian systems of disbelief and practice. It has served an intellectual basis for Hitler's Nazism and Marx's communism. It has prompted apostasy, atheism, secular humanism, and libertinism, as well as establishing a basis for ethical relativism, which has spread through society like a cancer. The mind and general welfare of mankind has suffered greatly as a result of this naturalistic philosophy. Right, evolution is responsible for all the wrong things in the world, except antibiotics, which have saved countless millions of lives. And by the way, even if it were true that evolution is responsible for bad things, which it's not true, okay, there was a perversion of evolution, which is eugenics. It's fake science, it's junk science, it's made up, right? It's not actual science, but they try to pretend like the two things are the same. But even if it were true that evolution was responsible for bad things, which it's not, that still doesn't take away from the factual basis of it, right? It still doesn't take away from the fact that it happened and it's true and there's evidence and there's proof for it. But these basic laws of logic don't apply to people so incredibly foolish. He continues, according to the Bible, man is a responsible creature. One day he will give an account for his life's actions and motives. But when man is viewed as the product of some vague, purposeless evolutionary process, he is conveniently freed from all moral obligations and responsibility. After all, he is merely an accident of nature, an intelligent animal at best. So what he's saying there is scary. Because basically he's admitting, if it weren't for religion, I would go around killing people. I would go around raping people. I would go around acting like an animal. Now, what's extra pathetic is that he doesn't realize that people who are, believe in evolution, which is all rational people, secular humanists, agnostics, atheists, even deists, just because, we don't believe in a personal God, the reason why we act right and we act moral is because it's the right thing to do, right? I know I wouldn't want to be killed myself. I wouldn't want to be raped myself, so I don't do it to other people. I don't want my shit taken, so I don't take it from other people. It's a logical, rational deduction. It's just a common sense, broaden your perspective and be objective, and you'll figure it out. But they can't do that. So they have to cling to religion like a child clings to its blanket. Like, oh, this is the only thing that's stopping me from shooting up heroin and crystal meth and ODing and fighting and killing and maiming. Well, that's just really sad because that shows you're just a shitty person. Sorry to put it so bluntly, but it's true. God is the one who established, he continues, all scientific laws. Wrong. And good science will always point to him. So all good science has to say God is true, God is real. Well, that means we have no science left because no science points to that. Sorry. That's why we need not fear there will ever be a discovery of some scientific fact that contradicts the Bible properly interpreted. He's just whitewashed away all of science. He's like, we don't need to fear fact and science because if the Bible says something, it overrides it all the time. You're admitting you don't care about the truth. You're admitting you don't care about reality. And finally, he says, if Robertson believes that Ham's literal interpretation of the biblical creation account is a joke, as Pat Robertson said, then I suggest Robertson's remarks make him a ham. A joke that's so bad at the end of his piece that it really sums up just how stupid his piece was as well.